Hey everyone. Welcome to our first ever TransCon, a 3-day event where trans folks play TTRPGs and raise money for Trans Lifeline, an organization run by and for by trans folks who provide trans peer support. Our donation goal has actually been increased to 4,000, and you can actually type exclamation donate in chat to get a link where you can donate to our campaign. We are currently at 3,610.75 of our 4,000 goal. Hopefully we can hit 4,000 before the end of this game, as I believe this is the last game for TransCon. So thank you for jumping in and watching. Speaking of the game, players, you wake up before it starts for the evening. Some people can sleep through it. Unfortunately, you are one of the unlucky ones that cannot. Or maybe, at this point, no one is really lucky now. 5 minutes left before it starts. It's been 3 weeks. At first, it was isolated places, and no one really knew where it was coming from. Some people didn't even believe it was happening. 2 weeks later, everyone is hearing it. News have spread. Everyone has their theories, but no one can pinpoint exactly why it started or who started it. But a minute later, it comes. The screaming. The screaming starts. You have your cup of whatever chosen drink you've decided to keep you company. Did it get louder? Is it just one person? Yes? Maybe? No, there's more now. That can't just be one person. Person? No. It's too animal-like to be just a person. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes. Finally, it's over. Tonight, however, was the straw that broke the camel's back. It's time to fix this. It's time to find out what's wrong with the city and fix this. Welcome to today's game of Monster Care Squad, The Rat King. My name is Glyza, and I will be your guide for today's story. And joining me are the wonderful players that you see around me. Monster Care Squad is a game by Sandy Pug Games, and it is one of my favorite games. It involves monsters that need healing and people with power to do so. Speaking of people with powers, let's move on to our wonderful players that will be healing our monsters for this one shot. Players, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself as a player and who you're playing tonight. We're going to start with Nyx, and then I'm going to show Nyx. So go ahead and start Nyx.
Hi, I'm Nyx. I use they, them pronouns. I really love TTRPG games, although I've never really made any content for them. I typically do a lot of video gaming on the internet. But I have been a DM and a player since I was about 18 years old. I'm 26 in a month. Yeah, I love this, and I'm super excited to be here. I'm playing Pangolin, who is a relatively socially inept hermit who moved out to the forest to be a little bit closer to nature before the false gold started really hitting monsters. And I moved to the city to go to school so that I could become a monster care specialist.
Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself and the monster that you're playing tonight. Not monster, the character.
I
Well,
mean, listen,
could
I
be
can play a monster too. I could do that. Listen, just give me the yes and I'll do it. But hi, my name is Lindsay, pronouns they, them, and I am a published playwright. I'm an author, and I've been playing tabletop RPGs for quite a number of years. I've been a player and a DM for various streaming sites, and today I am playing Marin, otherwise known as Marigold, pronouns he, they. And the vibes are very Milo Thatch. mixed in with a little bit of Steve Irwin, just very excited about monsters all the time. Used to be a monster field researcher and went to school to be a monster care specialist to better help the monsters that he loves so much. So, yay!
And Quinn, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing tonight.
Hi, hello. My name is Quinn at Quintastic_ on Twitter. You've probably seen me in Transplanter RPGs, The Second Stranger, playing Sitlali. My pronouns are they, them. I write and design a lot of things, and I'm a sensitivity reader, and I do arguably too many things. Today, I will be playing Bliss, whose pronouns are they, them. And they have an interesting past that may or may not become relevant today. But they are a very sweet, definitely normal, everything is fine little nerd.
Awesome. Last but definitely not the least, Austin.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Austin Taylor. I'm an award-winning game writer, designer, performer, and friend. You can find me most places at Sailor Scott Austin. It's at Sailor SCT Austin, because Scout is too long of a word. The internet has decided. Tonight, my pronouns are he, they, she. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't. Just in case. Tonight I'm playing Sky, whose pronouns are she, they. And Sky is a anime MMA fighter turned monster healer. I don't have a connection for that because this is a one shot. That is the trajectory. At one point she stopped doing that and now helps monsters, mostly with the same skills.
Awesome. And as you know, I'm Glyza. I go by they, them, and I will be your storyteller, your guide for this evening. Today's game is Monster Care Squad, The Rat King. As I mentioned earlier in the introduction to the game, it has been 3 weeks since the screaming start. At first, it hasn't been every night, but definitely in the last week, it has been every night. How are all of you dealing with that, by the way, with the screamings?
I just have started walking around with I don't know if noise canceling headphones exist.
Yes, they do.
I just walk around with those all day.
Awesome.
And every so often I do a nope.
Perfect. Anybody else have been trying to mitigate the screaming as well?
Pangolin, I think when they first moved to the city, very different, very loud compared to the forest, right? General silence opposed to save for like bugs and whatnot. Had invested in some very expensive, very high quality earbuds just as soon as they got there. So
awesome.
I think
a lot of you go ahead.
Sorry.
Maren?
I was gonna say I think that Marin is like a little less luxury about it. It's just very much like cotton balls kind of twisted up, plugged in the ears, and the strongest coffee you can imagine.
Awesome.
Bliss seems unfazed.
I don't know if I should be worried about that or just be like, good for Bliss. Good for them.
Quinn, please be normal. I'm begging you, one game I'm in with you, please be normal.
No.
Your neighbors are awake. It's maybe 2 a.m., 3 a.m. this time around. Your neighbors are awake. And you see, as you're looking out, maybe your window, you see some scurrying little creatures. You see the rats moving and running along. This isn't the first time you've seen these rats. You know that Denarius Mall is the first city in Aldamora that has totally gotten rid of pest control. There is no more pest control in this city, mostly because it has been voted out by the coalition of Colo Colo. That's what they're calling themselves, basically. The rat politician king. He doesn't like to be referred as king, but that is what everybody else refers to him. But the rats themselves don't really have a word for Colo Colo, mostly because the rats themselves don't speak. They communicate in pamphlets. So you see this rats squirreling along outside your window. And that's when you realize, all of you, that whenever the screaming starts, somehow you always remember seeing rats. You're all in your dormitories because you're all students. What do you do when you see those rats outside your window?
This has been going on for weeks, right?
Yep, weeks.
Pangolin has absolutely left like cheese on their windowsill, and maybe left it open a touch. I do not think that he is worried about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll say Sky wants to. The rats like show up and leave.
The rats have basically just been moving around. Every time the screaming starts, you see a couple of rats just scurrying about, like they're on their way to business.
I want to go.
Pang-
I want to go to their meeting.
Awesome. Who else is gonna go to their meeting? All right, Bliss.
That sounds super interesting.
Marin.
Yeah.
Pangolin, actually, you were the one that had the invite to the meeting because you have been leaving cheese outside the window, and there was a
Fortunate.
pamphlet there. The pamphlet says, basically details their weekly meetings with Colo Colo.
Go
ahead.
I'm sorry. Are rats like?
They're just normal rats.
But they have like speech in this way. I'm just
No.
Sapiens.
They're not able to talk. They're only able to communicate in pamphlets.
They do have sapiens.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Cool.
But they cannot speak. They're just rats. They're scurrying around rats.
Is that normal to all of us?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, basically before
Before
it's been like
it
5
wasn't.
years. It's been 5 years
Since they could do this.
since they could do this. Before, and you know it's definitely because of Colo Colo, because before Colo Colo made their appearance, their name known, the rats were just rats. They're just normal rats, pests and everything. And then suddenly Colo Colo appeared, and they started giving away pamphlets, and they started mobilizing, and now there are rats at the city council meetings. You have a mayor, or not
They
mayor,
unionized.
like part of the, like, what is it, Congress, whatever. I don't know. They exist. There's a rat in the politician's table.
I get it. I follow. I'm just trying to conceptualize growing up without that being a reality, and then 5 years ago it suddenly shifted where it's like rats are solicitors now and will hand you pamphlets that are like,
Yes.
hey, how's your day going?
Pretty
They're-
much. Also,
attempting
we
to
did get
unionize
a donation, a
Woo!
clock donation. So that means we can move forward we will be able to move forward to the diagnosis later when we reach that point. So we have 1 clock marked. Each level, by the way, each stage, we have 3 clock segments. So our first clock donation is has been marked. So there you get a freebie, basically.
Sick.
But yes.
Okay, thank you. I will continue can't like metabolizing this shattering.
Yes. Basically the rats have now mobilized, and at first you thought it was that the rats were being controlled by Colo Colo. Like suddenly this mind controlling, like, king of a rat has somehow turned them into, like, bees or ants with the same brain or whatever. But they're not. They're just normal rats that are now giving out pamphlets. Pangolin, since you were giving out cheese, you're the one that has this pamphlet that said weekly meetings with Colo Colo. Everyone welcome. Guests welcome as well. And by guests, it's like It's basically when they that when they say everyone, they just mean rats because Colo Colo believes that the true people of Tinarismal are the rats, while the humans are just guests in the city. That is their true belief. And basically, when he says everyone, he is just referring to all the rats. And the fact that there's guests welcome as well, that means you are also welcome should you be able to find the place. So
Cool.
that is the pamphlet that Pangolin receives.
Absolutely excellent. Provided he is able to track the rats to their little nest, he is absolutely in attendance.
Perfect. Are you going to tell your friends? You're all at the dorms, right? Are you all meeting outside? Did you text? Cell phones exist in this world as well. Basically, this is the modern world, but instead of like electricity and shit, it's ran by magic provided by the monsters.
Pangolin
So-
has the cheapest Motorola Razr flip phone that he was able to afford when moving in here. He would absolutely not use it and go and let his friends know in person.
Awesome. So you go to each of their rooms.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody is awake. You've all been awake for 3 weeks. Pangolin, you go. Whose room do you go first? Do you go to first?
Let's see. I'm gonna go alphabetical here so I don't show any favoritism. Bliss, I show up at your room first.
The
Hello.
door is, you realize the door is open.
It felt rude to enter without alerting you to my presence. I have received an invitation from the rats to go to their next meeting. It seems Colo Colo is going to be making some more moves. Unsure if you'd be interested in going with me.
Oh, excellent. Of course. They would be great for my and they kind of like Bliss straightens their glasses and like their frazzled hair and reaches for a really big like research journal that they keep.
Heck yeah.
And is flipping through it, and like there are pressed flowers and like things kind of fall out of it all the time, like and they open to a blank page and they're just like, this is fantastic. I've been wanting to research them a little bit more, so I'd love to come with.
I'm doing my thesis on monster and mortal symbiotic relationships. So this is very
Ah.
much up my alley. Yes.
Fantastic. Good.
You want to go let the others know?
I suppose.
Who do you go to next?
That would be Marin.
You hear a crash on the other side of the door. Hold on, I'm coming. And just like run over, open the door, still has the cotton balls in the ears. What? Sorry, what?
Hi, Marin. Sorry to bother you so late at night.
No, you're not bothering me. You're good. What's up?
I got an invitation to go and see the rats at their next meeting. He hands it to you. Bliss and I were going to go and check it out. Do you want to come?
Say less. I'm down. Just like quickly looks over the pamphlet, hands it back, grabs this massive like backpack. Like you kind of know that Marin's the kind of person to have like whatever you need at all times, always prepared.
Heck
Throws
yeah.
it over the shoulder. All right, let's go.
Mechanically, that means you have 5 prep based on your thing. So if any of you ever need something randomly, that is what Marin has. Finally, I believe you guys are going to go to Sky now.
Correct.
Scott doesn't answer the door. You just hear grunting and something being hit on the inside.
Bliss
Could
will pull
we-
out. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, okay.
Nope.
I think Bliss will pull out their phone and call Sky.
Oh, that would have been the smart.
Yeah,
thing
what do you
to
want?
Hey, you should open the door because there are 3 of us standing out here.
Oh yeah, sure. And Bliss opens the door and takes. Yeah, what's up? It's like sweating.
Pangolin hands the pamphlet to you. We're going to go and crash the rats next meeting.
I can't read. Okay, one sec. Goes back and gets their stuff and comes back out like with like a sweat rag and their bag. And still like in probably like spats and like a workout bra, and that's it.
Perfect. As you're all walking out, you realize that you're not the only ones following this instructions. There are a couple of other people with their own pamphlets walking towards this secret meeting. It's not really secret. You already know that this is a meeting that happens regularly, but this is one of the very few times that it's been open to guests. For the most part, Colo Colo usually just has meetings with his people, with
Rats.
everyone who he considered his people. You see
Yeah.
other people, other students from the Monster Care Squad school also following. In fact, you see your teacher, your guide. You know her as grandmother, grandmother, because she's in she looks like an older lady. So you know her as being in her grandmother mode. But you also know that your guide is she has this ability. Well, it's not really ability, but more of like every day she changes form from grandmother to a teenager to a young woman to a middle-aged woman. Basically, like she cannot predict what she will be that day. But today she's a grandmother and she's very tired. And she's walking towards you guys actually, and says, "Ah, you also received the letter then, correct?
Correct.
I believe this might reveal the reasons for the screaming. Hopefully. And eventually, we'll find out how to fix it."
Is there not supposed to be screaming?
No. They're not supposed to be screaming.
I thought that was like part of school.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's definitely louder here than anywhere else I've ever lived.
Yes. Well, this is the city, and of course
Right.
it's going to be loud.
Right. I wasn't
but
sure if that was part of it.
Yes. How long have you been in the city again? And she looks at all four of you and just be like, "How long have you been students in this Monster Care Squad Academy?"
It's a few years now.
A few years? And you didn't think that the screaming was not normal?
I'll be
It's
real.
been-
I just go to class. I haven't been keeping count.
I felt like it was getting progressively louder the longer I lived here, and the screaming was just the next level.
I see. Well, the screaming is definitely not normal. And I think it's definitely monster related.
Understood.
You all reach this amphitheater, and most of the seats have been taken over by rats, and they're all sitting down there. And you see them all holding pamphlets. You see them like just sort of like excited, murmuring, and all that. See a couple of students. You see a couple of students just hanging around over there. A couple of people from the city. Your mayor is definitely there. And you're all sitting down when suddenly, in the very center of the stage, a bright light turns on. And four rats with gold necklaces, gold earrings. They're rats, but they're just normal rats, but they have like this gold necklace, gold earrings, and they're walking up towards the stage. And they all of them, all together, take this deepest breath and start squeaking out loud. And you can hear the rats below also squeak back. You can't understand what's happening because they're squeaking rats. But you can tell that the rats listening are very excited. But then you can also see that it's divided. There are rats that look happy, and there are rats that don't look happy. It takes about like 20 minutes of this. What do you do while this is happening?
I lean down because I feel like I'm tall, like over the Marin. Do you speak rat?
I mean, like, No, you can kind of like pick up on like some things like body language and stuff, but like that's more based on like stuff that I learned in like public speaking, and that's kind of similar across the board. Now, if we had some marigolds though, I could talk to those, but that's a different story. But no, I can't talk to rats.
I'm going to see if I can use a move here.
Okay.
I'm going to use there's got to be something around here,
Mhm.
which is I roll 2d6 plus grit. I guess I'm looking for anyone that looks a little less confused than we do.
Okay.
I'm looking
You're
for a
looking for an
person,
actual person.
either a person or a pamphlet that would fit the bill here.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll that for me.
Okay. That is 4 plus 3 plus 1 is an 8.
Okay. You see something that's a little bit different. You see another pamphlet. This
Okay.
is different from all the pamphlets that you've that everybody else is holding. And on that pamphlet, it looks crushed. But when you're reading the pamphlet, it says, "It's time for war. It's time to take back what's ours." Basically, it's a lot of very negative, angry words saying, "It's time. This is our time. It's time to take back what is ours and ours alone. This is our city." And
Pangolin
that's
is
what
going
you
to
see.
very uncomfortably hand it to the rest of the group and say, I don't know if we're going to stay guests at this thing for very long.
Check it, Reed.
Oh, I'm
This
sorry.
feels
It's
important.
it says it's time for war, and that they're going to take back their city.
Why would they invite us then?
Marin, go ahead and just roll
Oh,
for
God.
me acuity, please.
Wait, what?
If you want, everybody can roll acuity.
I don't know what that
you
means,
can-
but I'll do it.
Basically, it's just observation. I want to
Oh,
see
okay.
what you're
Okay.
observing as this speech is going on.
Is
Happy
that
to.
2d6?
That
yes,
is
2d6 plus whatever your acuity is.
Okay.
And if you want, you can also add your specialties. That's another d4. But remember, if you use that specialty, you can't use it anymore for the rest of the game.
I'm gonna save
Just for that one.
Mine wouldn't apply.
That is a 7.
7.
My darling, I've rolled
That's
a
a 10.
6.
6. Bliss.
11.
11. Sky and Bliss. You notice that most of the rats you realize are not happy. Most of them. There's a group of people that are like cheering on and they're nearer to the group that is speaking in front, that's squeaking in front. But a lot of the rats are uncomfortable. You can tell that they're not really like agreeing with a lot of what's happening. Marion and Pangolin, they all just sound like squeaks to you. And like Pangolin, it's definitely because of the pamphlet that you read that said, "It's time for war, it's time to take back what's ours." All that is basically like you're looking at this and you're like, this is the most angry pamphlets you've read. And you've seen pamphlets by the rats. You've all have seen pamphlets by the rats, and they've always been like, we need to elevate ourselves as people. We are the true residents of Tanari Small, but there are now new residents here, and we must work with them. We must collaborate and all that. But this pamphlet is like, this city is ours. We must take over. Sky and Bliss, you see that a lot of the rats are not comfortable during this meeting. You notice the body language of them just sort of like sitting there to be polite. And you notice that the 4 in front are speaking as one. They're sounding like they're saying this, they're squeaking the same squeaks at the same tone. Like if they were speaking as humans, they would be just saying the same words at the same tone at the same time. That is what you are noticing.
Nobody else is insanely freaked out too, right?
Is it does it seem unnatural or more like Greek chorus?
It seems like this is something they've practiced.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like somebody has taken over their bodies and like speaking through them as one, but it does seem practiced.
Somehow worse. I thought it would make
Yes.
me more comfortable to hear that. Somehow worse.
As Monster Care Squad trainees, you do know that gold is a sign of some sort of sickness. And
Right.
these four are adorned with gold earrings, gold necklace.
Can I don't know, roll with acuity to see if I have a move that's something like I've seen this before, but that's mostly for the symbiosis stage. I'd like to roll with acuity to see if I am familiar with any examples of like externalized gold in that fashion, because my understanding of false gold was that it would appear as like
Yes.
patches on the skin or you
Yeah.
know. Okay.
Go ahead and roll for that.
That is an 8.
You understand that it's not coming from them. They are wearing the gold. They
Right.
are being they think this gold gives them authority over the
Right.
rats. And even the uncomfortable rats that are listening and paying attention, they seem to believe that they are leaders. They're uncomfortable with what's being said, but they have to show like, oh, these people are chosen ones. We have to pay attention to them. This is what it is. But you do realize that they are not oozing with the gold. They are wearing discarded gold,
Right.
basically.
With Colo Colo being such a prominent figure in, local politics for the past
Mhm.
couple of years here, would we have any idea what that particular
Actually,
character
no.
looks like?
You
No?
have never seen Colo Colo.
Okay.
You've seen drawings of Colo Colo, and it just looks like a rat, every man's rat. That's basically what Colo looks like.
I'm
Like
an
every man's rat.
Yeah, the every rat, of course.
The every rat.
Yeah.
Gotta
Your
go
But you've
for
never
average
seen
Joe.
Cola-Cola.
you can maybe assume that he isn't here, though.
Okay.
And that the Greek chorus are the voices for Colo Colo.
Right.
The speakers, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is anyone trying to like, when you go to a thing and you think it's gonna be fun, and then it gets weird really quick. You're like, whoa, I did not sign up for burning down the city. Not just yet. There's a lot of people we should probably get out first.
A lot of the rats are uncomfortable. They're
Is
not
anyone trying to like do
leave.
the Cupid shuffle and just leave? Is anyone trying to dip?
The younger rats are. But the older rats seem to be holding on to them to keep them here, to not disrespect the Greek chorus rats.
So
How about-
You can tell all of this with your observations. They're not very like, yes, but the ones that are in front, nearer to the Greek chorus, they are loud. They are, they are like they're very barbaric is the closest.
Yeah.
They're very excited for whatever the Greek chorus is squeaking about, and they're squeaking back.
I think I'll just say, what is this something we should stop, or this is not good, right?
Yeah,
This is very.
I kind of want to say, should I say something? I kind of want to say something.
What are the other people doing?
The other
we're not the
people
They
only.
just watch it.
Are
Like,
the only
other
people.
people are lost and sort of like confused as well. Your guide is very seriously looking at the Greek chorus. Now I'm just calling them the Greek chorus because that's a really nice name for them. The Greek
Yeah.
chorus, the rat chorus.
Good stuff. Lance.
She's very staring at them and looks at the four of you and says, something is different, obviously. Something has changed.
Bliss is taking fervent notes with a fountain pen and just kind of like half looks up and is like, well, don't we encourage public discourse?
We do. We definitely do. That's why no one has done anything yet. 5 minutes later, not just 5 minutes, like the whole meeting has started. 5 minutes after she says, you know, the chorus squeaks loudly as one, and it becomes quiet. And something rolls down. You know, like those PowerPoints, like a screen thingy rolls down behind them.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? We're gonna take over the city. Here's my 15 minute.
And
Yeah, I
there's a
use
PowerPoint.
Canva.
You can see something loading and a PowerPoint loads.
Ah, shit, hold on, it's not working. The clicker. I need a new clicker.
Somebody wipe down the project. I could see the smudges on the screen here. Come on, guys.
I'm so
The
sorry,
first-
please continue.
The first words that appear, guests.
That's us.
In 2 weeks, you will know what is needed of you. Be ready. And then it says dismissed. And then at the bottom, it says Colo Colo. And then
Really?
all of the rats start to leave and disperse.
No, like public forum? Like we're not having a conversation here? Like,
What did that say? What's
oh, it said
I can't read.
it said in 2 weeks, well, it said guests, and then it said in 2 weeks, you'll know what's needed of you. Sign, be ready, signed Colo Colo.
Sky, you need to stop skipping our lessons.
there's just I like books are hard.
Sure.
And punching bags are hard, but I can punch punching bags, and you don't like when I punch your books, so
You're right, I do not like it when you punch my books. It is upsetting. Punch your own books.
I'm
And
sure we
that's-
could find some books for Sky to punch.
if they can invent a way to punch a book to know what it says, like that's like then science is done.
While some of you are having a conversation about reading, Marin, you feel movement on your feet.
I look down.
There is a rat there, just sort of politely waiting for you both to everyone to be quiet.
Look at you! Oh my gosh, your tail's so cool. Would you like to climb on my hands?
I believe that
The
based
rat
taxes.
squeaks, offended,
Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry.
and just gives you 2 pamphlets.
Okay, thank you.
And the rat walks away.
What does the pamphlet say?
One pamphlet is similar to the ones you've already seen. It says, we are here to work with the guests. We are here to work with the purveyors, the providers. That is what they call the humans who live in the city. The providers, the purveyors, the food people, because that is basically what the rats want, just food. The other pamphlet looks torn apart. Looks like you could tell which one of the ones that the rat gave you, which one that the rat cared about and which one he didn't like. And it's the one that says, the same thing that Pangolin had picked up, it's time for war, it's time for this city is ours, that kind of thing. And on the back of the peace one says, please help us.
I will immediately show it to the rest of the group.
Sky
This-
can't read.
Oh, right. Okay. So this is kind of like the same like pamphlet as last time. Let's go to war, blah blah. But this right here says, please help us.
Oh, that I can do that. Well, maybe if it involves punching or figuring out a mystery. I'm really good at it.
Perfect. You see the rats, the Greek chorus rats, sort of just sitting down at the very front with their very with their group of dedicated group that's just surrounding them and just sort of like hanging out. After, I don't know if any of you has ever attended one of those evangelical meetings where at the end of the meeting the pastor hangs out at the front and like there's a group of people just sort of I don't know, maybe it's just me.
No, I
Religious
relate. I
trauma.
relate.
Sweet. They're there. A lot of the other rats have started to leave. And some of the rats are looking at you and then making sure, trying to gauge whether you'll follow them or not.
The ones talking to the chorus or different ones?
The different ones, the ones that are leaving.
Oh, I would have not noticed the ones talking to the chorus, and so did I. Was waiting to follow rats. Sky was, so Sky would immediately just start following rats that are leaving, without saying
Angela
anything.
would follow as well.
Sky would just like turn and
Yeah.
walk away.
Marin will go with.
Awesome. Everybody goes then?
Yeah.
Before you go, Sky, your guide reaches out to you and says, looks like one of the rats trusted you, or at least this group. Try to figure out what's going on. I will mobilize the other teams. And she stays behind.
You got it. Guide boss.
Your grandmother. Well, not your grandmother. Your mentor. your mentor grandmother.
Your
this time.
grandmother.
Your grandma. Yeah. So you're all following the rats. And the rats, you can tell that the rats are slowing down for you, just so that you can catch up. And they're following you. And they all enter this big cave. Big enough that you can fit in, but it looks like it was made so that you can fit in. It wasn't made by you. It was made by them to show you something. And you are standing outside this cave.
This is like not good, right, everyone? This is like a very standard, like don't walk into the cave unready situation.
I think these are the rats that we are going to be able to trust, just based on everything that went on in there, and the fact that they didn't seem to be too into all that kicking us out or using us conversation, right?
No, yeah, it's a cave. It's just like standard,
You're just not a fan of
But,
caves?
but look
Like-
at the craftsmanship. Look at all the hard work they put into this. It's beautiful. It's
No,
beautiful.
it's
Well,
very
okay.
nice. No, I like a cave. It's I just it's more of just like when you watch a movie, right? Like this is the scene where they're like, don't go in the cave, and then they all go in the cave, and you're like, ooh, someone should have like checked for I'm gonna check the entrance for like traps.
Awesome. Go ahead and just roll. Do you have any moves at all?
The only thing I have that's related is open hidden eyes, which
Go
is I
ahead
can
and
see
roll
through
it.
illusions.
I mean, you can roll a normal one, but you can also roll this if you like.
This is I can just do it.
Okay.
I can just I activate my shining gun and just see through any illusions.
There's no illusions. It looks well, you can also roll acuity, whatever.
Okay.
Just to see if there's like actual like physical traps, but you don't see anything magical at the moment.
Okay. Let's see. That's a 7.
All right. You don't see anything.
Also, I have okay. I took this from an example in the book.
Okay.
My grit is like the little like sub thing for it is methodical investigation. Can I use that for my checking?
You can re-roll it again and using grit, and you can add a d4 if you want to do that. Because you're methodically looking around, taking your time.
That. It's still 7. That's so funny.
Oh, okay. Well, again, so you can't use that d4 anymore for that one. I'm just gonna mark it here. But yeah, you don't see anything.
All
As
good,
you're waiting,
everyone.
as you're waiting there, 2 rats come out and they look impatient and just sort of like tapping the floor. And it's like,
Oh, sorry. Guys, I think we should follow. I think we should follow y'all.
and then moves back into the cave.
Painting a little bit of a picture here. Pangolin is very thin, very long stick bug energy, very long spindly limbs. So hunches down a little bit to get inside this cave. It's very awkward for him.
Is everybody else gonna go in?
Mhm.
Okay. As you're go ahead. Were you about to say something?
Yeah. Bliss is going to conjure like a small little flower that's just made of light, kind of like a flashlight, and hand it to Sky.
Awesome.
Thank you. don't look
As
at
you're
that.
walking in, you see the rats are on each side of your path and just sort of like expectantly looking up at you. And you're walking through this cave. And on the cave there are wall paintings. And it shows the history of the rats as you're walking through it. On your left, you see the rats as rats, scavengers, pizza stealers, New York rats. I don't know. They're just normal rats as they're walking around. On the right, as you continue to walk on, there is a shining figure. It's still a rat, but it's a shining figure. It is adorned in gold, but it's a rat. As you continue on, you can see how the rats have in the drawings have changed. They're more organized. They're following this adorned creature that is still a rat. And it is leading the rats. This is the story that you can understand from the wall paintings. It's leading the rats to, a better place and whatever. It also tells the history of what happened in Tanarismal, like the them suddenly taking over a printing press that was shut down due to infestation, the infestation being them. So that's where the pamphlets come from. It also tells you how due to the majority vote within the council, the pest control in the city has been gotten rid of, that kind of thing. It tells you the history of Colo Colo. And you reach the end where you also see another opening that will, it's another opening. But before you reach there, there is one rat just standing in the middle of that exit holding another pamphlet.
Reach out and Pangolin will take it.
And it says, Colo Colo is every rat. Colo Colo is for everyone. Help Colo Colo.
Okay.
And I think that's a great time for us to take a break, actually.
Works for me.
Yeah, so let's go for a break. Thanks again for everyone who's watching and donating. I believe we are at 3,620 75 cents. So keep donating, keep watching. We're going to see what happens with the Rat King. And we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. It's time to return to the Monster Care Squad game that we're running, the Rat King. The last time we left before break, you are all standing in front of another exit, and there is a rat in front of you, and he's wearing the same gold, like the others, like the 4 Greek chorus. And he's also wearing necklaces and earrings, and he's standing there as proud and polite as a tiny rat. Not tiny, it's just a rat. Rats can be big. Rat can be. And is standing there waiting for you.
Hello. You must be the illustrious Colo Colo.
It squeaks back at you. And you can tell the squeak is sort of a laughing squeak, and presents you with another pamphlet.
The pamphlet opens it for me and my friends, just kind of like over here.
Right. And the pamphlet says, to know the truth is to follow Colo Colo. So follow him. And the rat that was squeaking turns around, walks a couple of steps, and looks back.
I guess we're following, yeah.
All right.
All
Yes,
right.
we'll read the pamphlet to Sky and proceed.
Really, I didn't think you said reading was important, but I thought you meant like for school. I didn't realize for like helping
life.
people.
A lot of things it would seem.
As you continue down this exit, you think that it's going to take you back out to the surface, but it doesn't. It keeps bringing you lower and lower into the sewers. And in the sewers, you start hearing the screams again. Not as loud as it was earlier, but you could tell that the screams feel like they just haven't stopped this time. And the times that you hear it are the times where it just gets loud, but the screams are continuing. You could tell that the screams, it seems like the screams have been going on for 3 weeks. But sometimes it gets loud. And that's when you hear it. Go ahead, Mary.
Can I get the sense if this screaming, now that we're closer to it, is probably from a rat or rats, or if it's more human in nature?
Go ahead and let's see, actually. Let's go to one of the rolls for the diagnosis. Go ahead and actually roll I want you to give me go to the diagnosis tab, and I want you to give me like an idea that you might have. Basically, here's
boy.
what I got. Now that you're hearing the screams, tell me what you think it is after you roll.
After
So
I
roll acuity,
Okay.
and I will be able to tell you the name and effects of the wound
Okay.
if you're successful.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That was not a good roll. 5.
5. All right, it's just a normal acuity roll. The clock isn't marked. But
Okay.
you do realize that it sounds like an animal that has learned how to talk. That's what it sounds like an animal that has learned how to talk.
Liza, we have wandered into the rat's nest, I think pretty,
Yep.
no proverb. would you say that we are in danger? Like, am I able to get the sense that they do mean to do us harm?
Not the rats, not the rats that you're following, but the place
Okay.
is dangerous
Sure.
because it's not your place; it's theirs.
Right. And they do mean us a sort of danger, a political danger at the very least, if not a real one.
I mean, not these rats, but some rats, maybe. Certain
That's
rats.
fair. That's fair.
You don't know which rats. Let's just say that.
Assumably, the rat we're going to see based on the presentation.
Maybe. I don't
That's
know.
fair. That's fair. Okay.
But this
I will
rat is
hold my
leading
action.
you to somewhere. This rat
Okay.
that you're following, yes, with the golden flags, with the golden necklaces and earrings and what accoutrements or whatever.
Oh,
He's
man,
not the
I
one
like that.
screaming.
Right, of course,
He's
of course.
leading you towards the one that is screaming.
I'm gonna share as we're walking, my observation with the group. It's like, I don't want to call anything too early, but that doesn't sound human, Like, it kind of sounds like an animal, but like an animal that knows how to talk.
Animals read too? Well, that
that
goes the rats
happens.
make those pamphlets. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That happens sometimes, right? Like monsters can bequeath magic upon us and to animals.
There are litters of pamphlets torn up as you continue walking.
Oh, can I piece anything together if I like grab a bunch of pieces together?
Sure.
Would I roll like acuity or grit? Could I roll grit on that
Let's see. Do
for
you
like
have
field
a certain
investigation?
let's see.
My there's got
I
to be
would
something around
actually
here.
make you roll fine because of the field crafting that you have if you want to
Yeah.
do that.
For sure. for
Putting
sure.
it together.
I will roll +5. That is a 4, and that did not work out.
You were able to put it together, but it's not very clear.
Mhm.
You basically all you see is like war, ours, mine, evil. That's basically what you get from those pamphlets that have been torn up that you put together.
I show some of these scraps to Bliss as we're walking by. Like, I don't think this is going to go too well.
You reach the end of the tunnel, and there is a light shining from it. It's pulsing. Do you go into the room? There's a room basically, and there's light pulsing from that room.
Yes, hesitation. Sky keeps walking.
Awesome.
If Sky goes forward, Pangolin will fall.
Sky doesn't stop walking.
Pangolin is going to
hesitation.
covertly hide behind Sky, just a little bit.
There is a throne in this room, and on that throne is a rat. And that rat has a really big foot that is all gold. And right hand. So it's a left foot and a right hand that are really big for this rat. It looks like a tiny rat, and then their foot grew and their right hand grew, and they're both solid gold.
So definitely infected.
Yep, this rat.
Yeah.
And looks at you and says, "Finally." And then screams a little bit in pain.
Your hand and foot are really messed up.
Yes. It is.
Pangolin, unless something or someone attempts to stop them, is going to kind of like stride forward to inspect the sites of infection more closely.
The rats form a wall and stand in front of you, just sort of like on top of each other.
Hey,
and they squeak as one against you.
Listen, like, you should really let Pangolin through. Like, I get it, you know, like we're guests here. You might not trust us, but like, listen, you invited us here to help. We really want to help and we can help. But in order to do that, we need to, you know, take a closer look. So if you could please, you know, let Pangolin through, that'd be really cool. That'd make our lives a lot easier, you know, because like we really want to help. You should let us help.
Go ahead and roll allure for me, please.
Okay.
And you can also add public speaking, add a d4 if you would like.
Add a d4. My gosh. Okay.
Heck yeah.
So it's 2d6 and a d4
Yep.
plus 1?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Dropped a die. 8. Math. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15.
15. Colo Colo looks at this rat wall and says, let them through. It's okay. And the rats, concerned, looked at Colo Colo, but listens and follows. And slowly the rat wall separates and lets you through, Pangolin.
As Pangolin is approaching, I think it occurs to him that it would probably be a super good look to appear like at least slightly subservient. And so he kneels before Colo Colo in order to take the foot into his hand and, you know, observe.
Awesome. Are you wearing gloves of any type?
I think that is probably part of Pangolin's general, like,
Actually, roll for me, and then we'll decide with the roll.
That's totally
I
fair.
got gloves.
Yeah.
You want gloves? I can give you gloves.
Like, he's super not people oriented, given like his hermit background. So I could see a version of Pangolin that wears gloves all the time, regardless of school. But if you want me to roll for it, I totally will.
I am curious.
I don't want to god mod it.
Go ahead and roll just the normal d6 for me. And evens, you are wearing gloves. Odds, you're not.
Okay. That is 6.
Awesome. So you're wearing gloves. As you're holding this foot, the foot, right?
Mhm.
The foot looks like, as you saw from afar, infected. It is swollen. It looks painful. And gold ooze is oozing out of it. And the gold that that is spreading onto your fingers are hardening. Also, we've got 250 donations. What is our 50? What does that mean when we get 50? We have 250 donations, and you know what? If you don't decide, I can decide.
Uh-oh.
I'm a good guide. I'm gonna mark another clock for you. Dang. You don't have to worry about me. I'm a good guide.
Thank you.
All right. So, and it's good because you're actually looking at this this oozing, and you see that the hand is also oozing. And Colo Colo looks at you and says, I've learned to live with it.
You definitely should have come to see somebody sooner. Let me ask, how long have you been able to speak?
5 years.
Is that how long you've been sick?
Would you call it sick? I wouldn't call it sick. I would call it blessed.
You're in pain. I'd say it probably happens every night.
It's gotten worse, but again, I think it comes with a blessing.
I see.
Pangolin, go ahead and roll just fine for me.
A fine roll? Absolutely. 6 plus 3 plus 0, because I don't have any fine training.
You're able to detect that the gloves that are on your hands are starting to fall apart. So So Colo Colo would look at you and says, I would suggest that you let go of my foot now.
They do, and I believe they tear their gloves off in a slight panic.
Awesome. Colo Colo looks at all four of you. My people, they understand me. Most of my people, at least. There are some who do not. You must stop them. And then he screams again. Because of the
Shoot. Can I roll? There's got to be something around. Like, is there? They go to Marin. Can I look inside your backpack?
Oh yeah, go for it. Turn around.
I would like to roll. There's got to be something around here to see if I can grab something out of Marin's backpack and shove together something to alleviate the pain.
All right, go ahead and roll with grit.
You got it. 5 plus 4 plus 1.
So that's 10.
Yeah.
You find inside Marin's backpack a salve that you know has been successful in not really healing things, but it's a calming agent sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I craft something together rather quickly with this salve and attempt to apply it. Is this an oral thing or is this an apply to the wound sort of thing?
It's an apply to the wound sort of thing. It's
Okay.
like a cream.
I would spread it across some bandages and wrap it around wherever the gold starts on Colo Colo skin.
When you do that, Colo Colo winces and thanks you. You can tell that there's a great relief in it. Thanks you. But then tears it right off.
Oh.
As you're doing that, everybody roll just a general acuity for me, please.
That is a 10.
10.
Also a 10.
Also a 10.
Double sixes, 12.
12. Pangolin?
Oh, me too. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was. I thought it was Wallows. 6.
6. All right. Pangolin, you're too focused on the thing. The three of you, you hear a lot of feet scurrying into this room. And what do you do before they enter? But it's a lot of feet coming. You can hear a lot.
I know what I would like to do.
What would you like to do, Sky?
I want to try and stop them from getting to us. I
Okay.
would like to try to close the opening to this room.
Okay. Do you have a move or anything that you want to use?
I would like to reach out with my fists.
All right. Let's see. Let me read that one. Reach out with your fist. Go ahead and roll a force, please.
Absolutely. That's a 10.
Awesome. Whatever it is you wanted to do, works. Go ahead and just tell me what you're trying to do.
So I think we all like people like us three noticed scurrying. And I think where Sky was for Bliss and Marin, there's just the outline, and Sky is sprinting towards the opening and just as like a running jump, like double knee to the opening on the top to like try and collapse the opening. To I understand they're rats, they can probably squeeze through, but just try to like choke them in, so they can't all like come in at once. We have time to think.
Limit the flood.
Yes.
You've basically saved yourselves about like 10 minutes before they're able to like sort of get through. But on the other side, you hear angry squeaks. The same anger that was present during the meeting. It's very, very angry. very upset. And you can hear picking, and they're gonna get through. You have 10 minutes in this room.
Well, I do what I'm
And
good at, everybody.
I am going to move us from the diagnosis stage because you've already realized who's sick and you're in front of it. We're going to go to the synthesis stage. We're going to try to figure out how to heal Colo Colo. Colo Colo has removed that bandage, Pangolin, and is shaking his head. No.
Okay. Pangolin will put his hands up and take a step back.
It has been 5 years since I got sick. It has been 5 years since I've been able to talk. You cannot take this away from me.
Is it getting worse? I mean, has the infection spread further?
At first, it was just that my feet and arm were just gold. It has started to swell, and it has started to become painful. But this is a sacrifice, you see. This is something I need to have. This is important for my people. Do not take it away from me. And then he screams in pain again.
Listen, like I get it. Like you see this as a blessing, and maybe in some way it was, but you don't need to be able to talk to communicate. I mean, all of the other rats are getting by just fine using pamphlets. And the fact of the matter is that you won't be here to help your people if we don't help you get rid of this. It will kill you. It is killing you.
Yes. But what can I do? There are those that are already trying to twist my words. And already you can hear more of the things on the other side breaking through. Not yet, but they're getting closer. They're trying to twist my words. Already they're taking gold from me, from my own body, and saying that this is what I want. This is not what I want.
Well, then let's
how can I protect that if I can't even talk anymore?
Let us help you. You know, you said that, or everyone says that, you know, Colo Colo is every rat. You know? Let us help. This doesn't all have to be on you. We can help you. We can get rid of the gold that's probably poisoning them.
Sky.
Sky raises their hand and also it's not this isn't right. It's the other rats can't like talk either, so I don't like they're twisting your words and they can't talk. So I think if you couldn't talk, right? Like it was right. That's not rude, right? Like they can't talk.
There'd be less words to twist if you couldn't speak, I guess, is probably one argument.
You're right. But I don't want to go back.
No, that's fair. I that seems kind of like hell. I'll be honest. If I could like do stuff and then couldn't do stuff, but remember I could do stuff like oh, you can like talk and make pamphlets, and now you can't make pamphlets and tell people that like their shoes stink.
You understand.
I
The Colo Colo is nodding like sagely. You understand. Before this blessing, people call it abnormality, but before this blessing, I could not express myself the way others could, the way you could. And this is what gave us a seat at the table. Please don't take it away. Please.
With respect, your people have a seat at the table because of what you've done for them. You created an opening, and now they'll be able to speak with their written voices at the table for forever.
As
And-
Colo Colo is about to speak and reply to you, the walls behind you have been broken through and millions of rats fall in. And they are going through you, around you, and they surround Colo Colo. I will give you one move each, and then we'll see what happens.
I would like to yell distraction and scatter my homemade trail mix on the ground out of the way.
Awesome. What does your homemade trail mix do?
It is really tasty, and no one living and arguably dead can resist munching down on that trail mix.
Awesome. Is it enough for 1,000,000 rats?
Absolutely.
Awesome. You just
Marin,
it's just a lot
Marin
of
is a hungry boy. Got that really high metabolism.
awesome.
Man, always eating trail mix constantly.
Go ahead and roll just grit plus a D4 because that is a special equipment.
Perfect. Thank you.
Also, you get an ace from me, by the way. So I would like to.
That is an 8.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'd like to use Pangolin's character ace.
Okay.
So thing about Pangolin, pretty much the only thing that he's good at aside from reading a book is brewing potion. And he can only really brew one specific sort of potion. It's a stamina potion. And he pulls out his magnum opus, essentially. It is something that he's super duper proud of, and he hands it to Colo Colo, and he says,
Okay.
We can figure out better what to do when we have less company. Drink this and come with us.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll a lure.
Oh,
to
crap.
see if that
Okay.
convinces him.
Okay. I'm really bad at that.
You can do it.
It's an 8.
All right. That is a success. Anybody else making moves? So the rats are eating this thing. There are some distracted by it, and there are some that, especially the Greek chorus rats, are not so much. They're still like munching, but they're angrily looking at you while they're eating this homemade trail mix. They're like, you may have distracted us with this, but we are paying attention,
This
and
is
we
really
are like,
fucking good.
yeah, this is delicious, man.
You wait.
But
As soon
I
as
will.
done-
I'm still like mad at you at what's happening here. So that is basically what the Greek chorus rats are doing. Sky and Bliss, you have one action.
I think Bliss is going to use Presto to try and like summon up like some sort of wind wall or like something to kind of separate the rats from Cola Cola. Yeah.
Okay. You are successful in that. There's a little path that was created that can make Colo Colo sort of like walk if he decides to drink it, which he will because Pangolin was successful. Sky.
You said the Greek chorus rats are still like on
Yeah,
us.
they're staring at you eating, but they're like they're distracted but focused. Like they're angrily eating this homemade
I
trail
would
mix.
like to kind of bend my move summoning song to
Okay.
do the song they were doing earlier to like get I don't Sky is thinking is like, this is like a muscle. Like, I work out all the time. This is like a muscle memory. Like, they will not be able to resist to do anything but stand here and sing this song with me. So I'm going to stay here and sing the song.
Okay.
To
go
make sure
ahead.
everyone else gets out.
Go ahead and roll
Go with that.
allure.
Oh my goodness! Again, that's a 10.
All
You're
right.
killing it.
So the Greek chorus hears that song, that angry, squeaky song coming from you, and they stop and they are singing, and this spreads to the other rats, and they are squeaking out loud and singing, and it's almost drowning out Colo Colo's shout of pain. Colo Colo drinks the potion and follows you, Pangolin, and says, as long... Do you hear the ratty singing the song of angry rats? Sorry. I was what? It's perfect.
Squeak,
So-
squeak, 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 squeak.
Pangolin, Colo Colo stands on one painful foot, dragging his one long ass arm, and it's sort of like, I can jump a little bit, but I am going to need help.
I scoop him up and I
Okay.
hold him in my hands. And I
Okay.
know that it's probably going to burn the shit out of him, but he's okay with that.
Awesome. Your clothes. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a time crunch here. You need to get out in, let's say, 5 moves, which we can do. Or else the gold is going to get harder on your clothes, and we'll see what it does when it touches your skin.
May I throw some more gloves
Just throw
at
gloves.
Pangolin? Glove to the face.
I'll take
Awesome.
that.
All right, so Sky, you have 5 moves, and they can stay there for 5 moves. Marin, Pangolin, and Bliss with Colo Colo. Where are you headed?
Out. As out as we can get as quickly as possible. Obviously the main doorway I think has been destroyed. Are there any alternative routes that we would be able to scurry down?
Well, they've broken through that main doorway.
That's true. Okay. Would we be able to run back the way we came? I'm sure that's not a super complex route. I hope.
Yeah, it was an easy, like, straight with the walls on the thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
You're able to go through. Some of the rats that are outside are trying to slow you down, but the rats that were sort of peaceful, that just wants Colo Colo to be happy, sees Colo Colo and stops these rats that were trying to attack you. You're able. All 3 of you are able to get out. Sky, what do you do as you are seeing these rats angrily singing this song that you have started?
After I see when else got out, I'm like, okay, they don't have long. I remember when this song ends. I'm getting to the end, and they'll end shortly after because they started shortly after. I have like a 6-second window, and the only thing that any good anime hero will do is create more destruction. I'm going through the roof. I want to use my same move and jump up and go through the roof.
Awesome. You go through the roof. Let's see. That's another roll, right? That's another
Reach
go
out
ahead
with
and
my
do that.
fist.
Reach out with your fist roll.
Hachimachi. And I get a +1. That is 11.
Awesome. You break through, and you are actually in your dorm. Like, you break through the ground, and you are standing in your dorm house. That is basically where it's all been. That's why the screamings have been really loud, because it's right under your door.
I come up and and realize I'm in like the calf or something, and I look around and I go get the area rug and I just put it over the hole. And I dust my hands off. I gotta text somebody.
You're gonna text somebody?
I get up my phone and start texting Bliss. Hey Bliss, it's Sky. I'm back in the dorm. There's a hole now. I'm okay. Period. Emoji heart. Where are all of you? Period emoji heart. Send.
Where are you three going, by the way?
If I may submit, I think this is probably something that Pangolin is planning as we're running. So, I think we should take Colo Colo to one of the school's doctors. Maybe they can figure out a way to help him keep his sapience. His ability to speak.
I was going to say that, aren't you, grandmother?
Grandma! Oh, where's her office from here?
Her office is actually in the dorms.
Which is, very luckily right above us. Yeah,
Well,
I
no,
guess...
it's a tunnel. It's right under
Right.
where Colo Colo. You guys have a little bit of a way to go there, but yeah.
Okay. As soon as we hit the surface, that is where Pangolin would like to go.
Okay. You reach there, and Bliss, you do receive the text from Sky, and you're like, don't worry, we're headed there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you reply, maybe you don't, because Sky can't really read. You're all you're all there.
Sky getting the text. Oh shit, wait.
I can't read this.
That's why Bliss called at the start.
Let's just time skip. You're all there now. Sky, other than the rug, do you put anything else?
I want you to think, what would Goku do in this situation? As answer to that question. And
So
I think
no.
the fact that I put a rug is already a big step
Awesome.
forward.
The song stops, and it is very quiet under there. And you all four reach the dorm with it's eerily quiet.
You got here fast, Kai.
Yeah, I went through the roof.
You mean the floor?
Oh my shit. Are all floors just roofs?
For some.
For rats, mostly. Yeah.
Is the sky someone else's floor?
You're a person.
Sky's just doing that. Sky's
You're a person.
Error code pops up in Sky's eye. Full error code on her. She's spent. She's absolutely spent.
All right. Grandmother's room is at the very top of the building.
We scurry there? Yes?
As you
Run.
make your way there, carrying Colo Colo, there's a bit of an earthquake. It's rumbling. And the rug is now no longer on that hole. And as you're climbing the stairs, the floor is filled with rats. That you can no longer see the floor. And it's just a sea of rats. Very angry rats. Some of them are now wearing gold stuff. Some of them not, but they're all very angry. And at the head of it is the Greek chorus rats. What do you do?
Can Marin reach into their pack and pull out a small potted marigold plant?
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. And then I'm just whispering to it feverishly, like, we're in trouble. I need you to do something. Can you do something? Like, we got all these rats. We need them to stop so that we can help Colo Colo. Like, anything would be help. Anything.
Let me just Google what a marigold looks like.
They're kind of the poofy, like yellow, red, orange boys.
They look like little
Right.
suns.
Yeah.
All right. The little marigold replies to you, I'm just one plant. I don't know what I could do to stop all these rats.
That's valid. I was asking too much of you. I apologize.
I can call the other marigolds to come, but they're not gonna be able to make it in time. They're also plants.
Hmm.
Give me one moment. And then
Okay.
it just sort of like quiets down for a little bit. What does anybody else do? The rest are like,
Can't you
sea
tell them to
rats.
stop? I say to Cola Cola on my shoulder.
They think they're saving me.
Speak up for yourself. If they understand you, then
Colo
set
Colo turns.
boundaries.
Colo Colo turns and says in his squeakiest voice, "Stop! I am fine." But not like I don't know how to make that squeaky.
Sure.
I just tried it. The Greek chorus squeaks back angrily and says, you know, and this just gets the others angrier. And Colo Colo turns to you. They think I am being kidnapped and brainwashed by the humans, by you.
We don't even have magic. At least, well, Bliss does. That's a bad example.
I went through the roof.
And
alright,
one of
we
the
use a
Greek
lot of magic.
chorus goes, "He went through the roof," but like in squeaky voice. You can tell
And-
that like pointing at Sky. Roof.
If we could use brain magic, don't you think we'd use it on you to get you to stop chasing us?
That's not the sentence to say.
No?
All right, everybody. We've tried it your way long enough. And Sky takes out knuckle dusters.
Sky, they're so much smaller than your punching bag.
No,
wait. She's onto something.
Listen, I think this could work. So I would like to use my signature item ace thing, which
Okay.
are knuckle dusters that can deliver medicine.
Okay.
I would like to say I have like just a general like Tylenol Z in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to try and just like full on like Armstrong from Fullmetal Alchemist, just like punch the ground and just like disperse it up these rats.
Just the rats. Okay. Go ahead and roll force. You can actually use your reach out with your fist for this.
Incredible.
So add a D4 to your normal force.
Absolutely. Hachi machi. More than 10.
Awesome. You are successful. You get the Greek chorus right in the face, right? It does spread out, and you are so successful in spreading all of this medicine that these rats have fainted because of the overwhelming wave of medicine that have come on top of them, and they are asleep. They might wake up, but you are able to reach your grandmother, not your grandmother, but grandmother
Grandma.
at the very
yeah.
top. Your grandmother, Sky.
Yours specifically.
What do you say?
This
little yeah, go for it.
Foot bad, but likes to talk. So
This little man here needs a cure.
Needs a cure. Colo Colo looks at the grandmother and says, I am not a monster. And grandmother goes, what do you mean? And Colo Colo tells the story. He was just a rat. A normal rat. And he was just walking down the street one day, doing rat stuff when
Walking fast.
a dollop of this gold thing fell on top of him. At first, nothing really happened. He was just, he just sort of shook it around and he was gone. It was gone. But soon he started to talk. And he's been able to, his brain started to become bigger. And he's able to speak and do all these things that not normal rats can do. And he says to God, to the grandmother, and goes, if this is healed, it will be taken away from me. I can feel it. I do not want this false gold away from me. I understand that I'm being selfish. But please, I refuse to be healed. I refuse to be back to who I was. Your grandmother looks at it and says, Colo Colo, I don't think you have a choice. What do you four do? Are you going to let it happen?
If Grandma says I'm not, Sky's not gonna do anything. Sky's spent. I've gone through two walls and punched medicine into 1,000,000 rats.
Colo Colo screams, please. There's got to be another way.
I
What?
don't
what
want
if-
to. Go ahead.
What if you do go back to the way that you were, but you learn a different way of expressing yourself, like music? And I think Bliss pulls out a fiddle that they have because they can play that.
Colo Colo takes that fiddle with his giant gold arm and crushes it and looks at you and says, would you give up everything that made you special just so you can be healed?
Pangolin shakes his head. All of your compatriots have been communicating with us just fine, and they've done so without your particular gift. The changes that you've made, that you attribute to this, golden arm, golden leg, you could have made them whenever you wanted. You chose to do so after you felt empowered by being able to speak. You may not be able to share words with us once your sickness is healed, but you'll still be a leader. You'll still have your mind. And if nothing else, I'll fight alongside you.
Colo Colo becomes quiet. Does anybody else say anything else?
Marin just nods along with what Pangolin is saying. Like, we're not going anywhere. Your people's seat isn't going anywhere. You and your people will still have a voice, even if you can't speak.
Colo Colo looks at all four of you and says, when I asked for your help, when I asked my people to ask for your help, I thought you would have a different solution. And he asks you forth to leave. As grandmother starts healing, starts making the potion and all of that. The screams have stopped. A couple of days later of healing, Colocolo's foot and Colocolo's right hand started to become smaller. The rats still communicate with pamphlets. Still the Greek chorus rats have disappeared. You don't know where they are. You don't know if they've left the city. You don't know what they're doing. But they've disappeared. When you went down that night after they've all fallen asleep, you only saw just the rats that were angry and all that, but not the Greek chorus rats. The 4 wearing gold stuff. After a while, Colocolo is fully healed. His foot works. His right hand works. He has lost the ability to speak. And he meets with all 4 of you. And he is holding a pamphlet. He hands each of you a pamphlet, including you, Sky. But with Sky, it's only pictures. I'll explain the pictures later. Marin, on the pamphlet for yours is the picture of you with your giant backpack. And it says, thank you. And it says, it has a recipe for making different kinds of trail mix that you can use for other animals should you want to do that. So that's the pamphlet that you get. Pangolin, you get one, and it shows different places in the city where you can find different sort of little treasures where they've hidden little things that that you can squeeze into and you can make. And again, there's the words thank you. Bliss, it says I'm sorry. And it also has the words I've bought you a new one. And behind that one is a sort of like a, I don't know, like song sort of thing, where if you decide to play it, and right under it says The Rat King by Colocolo. So that is there. Sky, yours is pictures of you punching up and punching things, and is very it's very impressive, and it looks like you, and it's a comic of Sky. It doesn't have words on it, but it looks really cool. But Colo never speaks again, and he does disappear back into the sewers. The rats still continue to have a seat at the table as promised. They still continue to print out pamphlets. They still continue to, Colo, the every rat, But you can tell that they're waiting for something to come back. You can tell that they're waiting for something to change. And that's where we'll end tonight's stream of Monster Care Squad, The Rat King. Thank you so much for watching Monster Care Squad. And for our last time, is this tonight is the last game, right? This is the last game.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you so much for We raised 3,720.75
Woo!
for Trans Life. Again, thank you so much for watching. I have been Glyza. I go by they them. You can find me everywhere on the internet by at Classical Glyza. That's Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, for as long as it lasts. Hive, I haven't used it, but it's there. But enough about me. Let's go ahead and reintroduce this wonderful people that played with me. Let's start the other way around with Austin.
Oh shit. Hey, I'm Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. I just got done playing Sky. Whose pronouns are she, they. I'm an award-winning game writer, designer, performer, and friend. You can find me most places on the internet. That sales can also at Sailor SCT Austin. I don't know who's next.
Quinn is next.
Hi, hello, I'm Quinn. My pronouns are they, them, and I've been Bliss today, whose pronouns are also they, them. I am a designer, writer, freelancer, sensitivity reader, doer of objectively too many things. You can find me and all of my everything that I'm doing. I'm very busy this week. Austin and I have another game this week. And you can find all that on Twitter.
Awesome. Lindsay.
Oh boy. Hi, I'm Lindsay. Pronouns they, them. Tonight I played Marin, pronouns he, they. And you can find me on Twitter at Deburbles, as well as Instagram and a few other places, including Twitch as something that says Bubbles. I am a published playwright, an author, and studying to be a future librarian. So come hang out with me.
Awesome. And last but not the least, it's Nyx.
Hi, I've been Nix. I'm not nearly as impressive as any of my compatriots here, but I had a great time nonetheless.
Wrong!
Incorrect.
I stream on Twitch. My pronouns are they, them. My character's named Pangolin. They go by he, they. And this was absolutely amazing. I can't wait to do something like this again.
Thank you so much for watching, for donating. We are going to be rating So Maddie games. So stick around, support them, be nice. And again, thanks again for watching us, for having such a wonderful, for supporting this wonderful event. Hopefully we will be able to do another one next year. But till then, we have been Trans Con Game 5, the Monster Care Squad, the Rat King people.
Bye, y'all.
All right, bye. Bye.